This is my favorite comic book of the entire year. And it started last year and it's continuing. It's already on its ninth issue, this one right here. But I'm just going to show you the first one. I was planning on doing a whole series of videos on this and making them kind of long, drawn out, and actually going through the whole, scrolling process, of the artwork just going down the page or whatever. I don't have time for all that. I'm so busy. So I'm just going to tell you all about this book. First of all, Scottie Young is a great writer, and I had not read anything by him until Middlewest. And I've even thought about picking up his other stuff as well. This art is amazing by Jorge Corona and I'm going to butcher this, Jean-Francois Bulot, I think is the colors. The colors are gorgeous. I have not seen such rich pastels in a book in so long. And this opens up and it shows, the main character Abel. He says, "The Middlewest, the wind is so violent here." It shows tears in his eyes. He says, "I hate it." And this next page, oh my goodness, these colors, absolutely gorgeous. He says, "Sometimes I feel like it hates me." And you see this, looks like a cyclone monster that's coming after Abel, screaming his name. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So the book begins just kind of a normal life. He's on a paper route, but you can tell that his dad is a little abusive. Grabs him by the shirt. "Welcome to the effing world, kid, where we all work hard and no one gives us a cookie at the end of the day. Now, if you're done patting yourself on the back, you can wipe that scowl off your face, get your ass out there and do your job that you think you're so good at." This is a story about a kid leaving home and kind of becoming an adult very, very quickly. The storytelling is fantastic. It really is. Every single issue leaves you on a really suspenseful note, and it makes you want to read further. I'm telling you, I'm hooked on this book. Every single month, I'm like, yes, another issue. I really love it. But I want to, from this very first issue, oh gosh, look at these colors again. These colors and this art is just absolutely fantastic. Tiny bit of a spoiler, there is a talking fox that is his best buddy. So I loved what he wrote. At the end of every one of these books in Middlewest, there's some extras, right? And this is such a cool piece. He says, this little kid, he says, "You don't look like a wizard." And this farmer, he says, "Well, what does a wizard look like?" And that leads to the commentary from Scottie Young, the writer, and he says, "That's a question I asked myself. What does a wizard look like back in August of 2016 when I drew a kid telling a farmer that he didn't look like a wizard? This was the drawing that got me thinking about a story that would eventually become Middlewest. If you followed my work, you know that I like kid on a quest stories. I wanted to explore that again in a world that felt more real, but with magic lurking under the surface. Instead of a kid finding a wizard who looks like Gandalf, he finds more like a farmer from Midwestern US. Very cool. And aren't all stories like that? The concepts that you come up in your mind that end up being the most incredible stories that you've written are always from this really small kind of idea or notion. Just a really tiny concept like this that Scottie Young had turned into this entire image series that, I'm telling you, is my favorite comic book of the year. It's fantastic. It's continued all the way through. Now I have the other books out on loan, but I just got 9 recently. This was maybe a couple of weeks ago. Look at that art. It's just absolutely beautiful. This is already available in trade paperback for, I think the Image books only charge $9.99 for their trade paperbacks. So look, I'm telling you to pick it up. It's absolutely an incredible series, and it keeps the exact same writer, artist. Even the lettering is fantastic in this. I'll show you this kind of strange lettering. It's by some guy named Nate Picos of Blambot. Totally cool. He comes across these wooded creatures in the woods. And I just love the art. Now, here's what I love about this art style. It seems raw. It feels like, um, what's the word? Rough lines, you know? Again, I'm not an artist, I'm a writer myself, but gosh, I can really appreciate this rough style that turns out to be just fantastic for this entire book. It's really great. And again, these same fantastic colors all the way through. And I will tell you, maybe a tiny bit of a spoiler, definitely doesn't spoil the story. This kid finds out that, you know, he has this power, and it originates right there as a heart on his chest. And the whole kind of book is about that. You know, it's not about him having a power that he's able to control. It's about him having an uncontrollable power inside of him that he has to come to terms with and learn to control himself. Again, we're already on the 9th issue, and he doesn't still seem to have control over those powers yet, which is great. It's really fantastic. I urge all of y'all to pick this up. If you haven't, I think it's the best thing in comics right now. Of course, you know, I've been reviewing these X-Men books, you know, by Jonathan Hickman, which, again, they're just kind of restoring my hope for the X-Men. They're retconning a bunch of stuff right now. You know, I have those videos. They're the last ones that I've made. And all of these books have been good so far. So, of course, you know, I think that they're great. And, you know, even though this isn't an X-Men video, I've been flipping through this book and, you know, showing some of Jim Lee's old art. You know, he was the artist that did all of the art for the old Claremont run of course, and, you know, he works at DC now. It was funny. I liked Zach's video that was titled something like, you know, Jim Lee has no idea what his job is, and I don't either, or something. Yeah, I mean, you know, you used to know what he did. It was beautiful art like this. I mean, look at that forge art. So cool. I mean, every single one of these is fantastic. So, you know, I could flip through this art almost every day. Look at that. Holy cow. And Storm's one of my very favorite characters, of course, you know. She has a lot of depth. Alright, guys. So, yeah, that's it. This is going to be kind of a short video. Cutting it off right there. But, look, guys, you know, I talk about comic books specifically, and I want to talk about comic books more and more, as much as possible. I wish I had time for more videos. I'm going to sneak in as many as possible. I'd love for you to subscribe. Hey, come back for my next videos. Again, my name is Chase. You are the gateway into comics. Have a great day.